Okay, I've got all my vertical lines numbered, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot out where the side of the boat, you can see the side of the boat, where it intersects with the vertical lines that I've made. So, for instance, I can look at this one right here. At line 11, it's 15 and a half. Okay, so I've got to use a scale for this because I am measuring in eighths. So I had to find the eighth scale, and each of these represents an inch, and my measurement is 15 and a half. And if you look from the 0 to going right, each of those lines is an inch. So it says 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 4 there. Now, there are two sets of numbers, numbers on the top and numbers on the bottom. The numbers on the bottom don't make any sense for our scale. That's because they belong to another scale on this side. So we're just going to use the ones going from 0, and if you count over 1, 2, 3, 4, you see that makes sense. It says 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. That makes sense, right? So this is what I'm measuring. 0 this way, adding, and I'm going to come to 15. But I also need a half. So from the 0 over to the left here, there's 1 inch broken into some parts. Now, an eighth of an inch is very small, so it's not broken into much that's very helpful except the ½ inch mark. So the ½ inch mark, that's a helpful line. A 1/4 inch would be between the 0 and the ½ inch, kind of right in the center of that. 3/4 of an inch would be between ½ inch and 1 full inch. And everything else, we're just going to have to estimate. Is it closer to an inch? Is it closer to ½ inch? Is it a little more than ½ inch? Is it a little less than ½ inch? Like that. And you're just, it's going to be good enough for what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use this. So I'm on number 11, right? And I'm looking for number 15. So here we go, because my measurement is 15 and a half. So one way to think of this is you can put the 15 down here, and 15 to 0 is 15, and then just add that ½ inch from this measurement, okay? And that's the line. You just put a little line on that, and you're good to go. So the next one, number 10, if I'm looking over here, says 16 and a half. Now, another way to do it is you could start off with the half, because you know you're going to have a ½ inch, and then you can go ½ inch up to 0, and then go to 16, and 16 is labeled, right? So then I've got a mark at 16 and a half, so I've got 2 marks. The next one, number 9, is 17 and 9/16. Oh, geez, 9/16. So 9/16 is just a 16th bigger than 8/16, and 8/16 is 1/2. So let me put this on a half, and then just go a teeny tiny bit bigger, because we're in a very small scale here, and then I want to get up to 17. So I've got this little 9/16 here, and then I'm going to find 16, right? Here's 16, and then I want to go one bigger than 16. So there you go. And if you looked at these, they're kind of 3 in a row. That looks sort of like it makes sense, right? Because the drawing is getting bigger here. Okay, so you're going to plot all of these all the way along, and the bottom ones all the way along. Just plot the measurements. I'm going to do a little bit right now about the front and the back. So at the back, it tells you, this measurement right here tells you that it's not right on the vertical, it's a 1/4 inch in from the vertical. Okay, so let's see. I don't know where it's going to be, but I do know that a 1/4 inch is, if that's a half, a 1/4 inch is less than that. So the 1/4 inch in thing is going to be about here, right? And then the height of that is 14 and 9/16. So again, 14 and a little bit more than a half. So 12, 13, 14 at the very bottom edge, and then a tiny, tiny bit more than a half. Okay, so that's my intersection right there. okay? And again, that makes sense because, these are kind of going down here. It's not going to exactly be a straight line because this, believe it or not, this is a slight curve, but at least they're kind of making sense, okay? So I can plot the back of this, the transom, where the side meets the transom, because I've got some information of where this line lands on the base. And it says it lands on the base 6 inches in from that number 12 line. So I can take my scale and I can put it right on 6 inches. So I've got 4, 5, 6 inches here. I got the 6-inch line right on the number 12 line. I can go back to the 0 and put a little mark, right? That's the 0 mark. So now all I need is a straight edge, and it goes from my 14 9/16 by 1/4 of an inch in, and it goes to this line, right? So I'm just going to use this and just gently sketch that in, make sure it's in the right place. It looks good. Then I can put it in a little bit darker. And that is one full line on the side. Okay.